All right, welcome to what we call the Rokani Media Football. How are you guys and where are you watching us from? I go by the names of Rokani David. Smash like button, comment and share. If you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. We are into a brief match preview. Arsenal being hosted by Nottingham Forest. That's one of the biggest games that Arsenal has to play. And by the way, just note it that Arsenal comes into this game of football after losing to West Ham 2-0, and Nottingham Forest went ahead to lose to Newcastle by 4-3. And these two wounded Lions are really going to be meeting tomorrow at the City Ground, a stadium that capacitates 30,445 people in there. So smash the like button, comment and share, and let's see and continue to subscribe because we want to hit a magic number of 30,000 subscribers. Now, remember, we are powered by St. Maria Goretti SS. St. Maria Goretti SS Katende. Registration is in progress for S1s, S2s, S5s, S3s. You can as well call them on +256 702 478 536. +256 702 564 109, and St. Maria Goretti SS Katende located on Masaka Road. You've gone here to see the details, and you can as well check out their website as you see it there, and you can as well follow the link into the description box below to see it that all goes on well as planned. Now, Arsenal comes into this game of football and they really had some fears of Ethan Nwaneri, but the manager has said Ethan Nwaneri has not gone ahead obviously join the likes of Martinelli, Bukayo Saka, Gabriel Jesus, and Kai Havertz, meaning that the player is gonna be available to play the beautiful game of football. That is it coming in through from the manager of Arsenal. But Kai Havertz, Jesus, Gabriel Martinelli, and Bukayo Saka, all those are out, plus Tomiyasu, whose season really came to an end. When we go to Nuno Espirito, he has come up and obviously told us that almost they're really having all their squad available, and that is really one of the most worrying bits for the side of Arsenal, that this team is obviously going to be coming in through to obviously present its full squad, and their full squad is really very, very deadly. Now, let's get into the probable starting 11 for the club of Arsenal. The system is 4-3-3, and this is how I believe Arteta is obviously going to line up as they're taking on Nottingham Forest at the City Ground, a stadium where it's not always an easy visit. I tell you, it's always not easy to go there and do the needful. Now, we have Mikel Merino is one of those that is obviously going to be taking part. It's not Mikel Merino. David Raya is going to be in the stitches for me. And on the right back, I believe Benjamin White is obviously going to return. And what's the importance of Benjamin White? By the way, there is something, however much Julian Timber is more talented and has a more skill set than that of Benjamin White, but looks like Benjamin White is really very important into the system of Mikel Arteta, as you saw to it that even when he came on, when Arsenal was a man down, Arsenal's attacking phase in the final third went ahead obviously to change totally. You will all agree with me. It changed totally, meaning that he has to obviously get him there. He might obviously offer them something different, maybe a goal, maybe a cross. Remember, he really averaged like 5 assists in a season. So if at all in these remaining games, he can obviously give Arsenal those assists, then I think it can work out well for the club of Arsenal. Left back, I think it's going to be Julian Timber, with Lewis Kelly suspended and Ricardo Carafiori being the reason as to why that one goal really came in through, because he allowed in the the Aaron Wan-Bissaka cross. I think the manager will go with Julian Timber, having two fullbacks who are really very good at the ball, and defensively they are also good. Then central defense, obviously it's gonna be Saliba and a player known as Gabriel Magalhaes. You understand? So that is how these two are really partnering up again. One of the best central defenses in the world, and central defense partnership in the world. And by the way, they've gone ahead to concede the least number of goals this season. Again, that is the club of Arsenal. In the midfield, I think it's obviously going to have Thomas Partey at its base, acting as the central defensive midfielder. Then it's also going to be having Declan Rice into the mix to see to it that all goes on well in there. And then it's going to be having the man himself, known as Martin Odegaard, the captain, the gaffer, not the gaffer, the skipper of the side of Arsenal. And this time round, I would love to say to it that Martin Odegaard really does a lot. You know, sometimes in a situation like this, I even thought the manager will change the system to a 4-2-3-1, where Martin Odegaard will have two players playing behind him to obviously be safe, but he's still a 4-3-3, and that keeps Martin Odegaard playing far. You know, he plays from the deep areas of the pitch to obviously release other players. So we'll wait and see how that really pans out. Then right forward, the manager has confirmed to us that Ethan Nwaneri is available, and just because he really had loads of work, you know, this recently concluded 2, 3, 4 matches, his body hasn't gone ahead to be used to such intensity of the games, and that's why he came up really looking like he's injured. But the manager said those were cramps, and through the recovery process, Ethan Nwaneri is going to be available as they take on Nottingham Forest. Left forward, I think it's going to be Leandro Trossard, again, to obviously play that side. And leading the line, Sterling or Merino. I think he'll try to prove people that playing Merino as his number 9 and starting him was not a mistake, you know. And I know he's obviously going to come up and obviously start him there. So that is how we believe Arsenal is obviously going to be standing. And I don't know what your thoughts are about it, but that is my probable starting 11 for the club of Arsenal. You understand? So, as it stands like that, we have to look at that Merino position. And right now, I have what we call a wild thought, that however much the player in Raheem Sterling is very wasteful, I would play him as a half 9, because I know he can offer more than Merino. His involvement in there for you will be really great. His link-up play will be really great, because when Arsenal played Merino in the game of West Ham, what positive did he do as a centre forward? I think the manager should obviously bring in Raheem Sterling and play him that side, and maybe Merino will obviously come off the bench. Then for Nottingham Forest, Sells into the mix with Milenkovic, Moliro, and Morata. You know, that is the back three. Then Aina, right. He's going to be played as a right wing back. Then I think Anderson is going to be played as a left wing back. Then Yetes, Williams, Gibson, White. You know, all those will obviously come in through to the needful. And guess who? Wood will obviously lead the line for the club. And he has gone ahead obviously to score very many goals, meaning that that defense of Arsenal has to be on high alert, because the dude is really in the best form of his life. If you've been following him up from, I think they got him from Burnley to Newcastle, and then from Newcastle to this side. He hasn't gone ahead to experience a season like this one in his entire career. Before I give you my prediction, you know what I do. 1. Nottingham Forest have lost 7 of their last 8 Premier League games against Arsenal, with the expectation being a 1-0 home win in May. You know? So Nottingham Forest have lost 7 of their last 8 Premier League games against Arsenal. So Arsenal really have a very good go. But I think the last time Arsenal paid a visit to the City Ground, they were beaten. Sorry, in May 2023, they were beaten there. So we are waiting to see how this season will go. Arsenal won this exact fixture 2-1 last season, but haven't won consecutive away league games against Nottingham Forest since a run of 4 between 1987 and 1990. That is it. Then, thirdly, Nottingham Forest have alternated between failing to win, 1 draw and 1 loss, and winning 5 in their last 11 midweek, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday Premier League games, drawing 1-1 against Liverpool last time out in January. So They are really kings of really winning games and not losing games in the midweek. Fourthly, Arsenal have won 12 of their last 13 evening kickoffs, 7 p.m. or later in the Premier League, including their last 9 in a row since a 2-0 home loss to West Ham in December 2023. You've heard that? Even Arsenal has a very good record when it comes to mid-game weeks. Lastly, Nottingham Forest have won 5 of their last 6 Premier League home games, as many as they had in the previous 20. 4 draws and 11 losses. That's what you're really getting in through from that side of Google. So my prediction is I see a draw. I see a draw between Arsenal and Nottingham Forest. And a win for Arsenal, oh my God. Nottingham is really in one of their forms, the form of their lives, and I think they're obviously going to make it hard for the club of Arsenal. So your thoughts onto that are welcome in the comment section below. Tell me, who do you want out? Who do you want in into this probable starting 11 of Arsenal as they take on the side of Nottingham Forest? Rokani David is my name. I sign out for now. See you later and continue to subscribe. Second video of the day. In the next 3 hours, we're obviously going to be coming up with some of the words that Arteta has going to hate to say in the press conference, where he has come out and said that he believes that trophy chess, all charge, is still on for the club of Arsenal. Do you agree with him? In the next video, that's when I'm obviously going to come and elaborate more about it and I really tackle the fixture these two teams are really having. I'm out. Bye-bye.